Hi, I'm Nancy Andrews, along with Bonnie Stewart for This Week at the Capitol. Bonnie, of course, everyone's talking about the governor's budget, and I understand there were hearings this week.
Yes, the Appropriations Committee's had hearings for a couple of weeks now. CBIA testified this past week to let everyone know that we thought the governor's budget was a good framework, but that now it's up to the legislature to take that basically launching pad and go from there to make sure that we've got additional efficiencies and additional programs put in place to make the state more effective. So we want to see the cost of the state reduced further and also look at the services that are being provided.
Okay, and of course we've all heard the Labor Committee did pass paid sick leave, but it was a close vote.
Yes, they did. The employer community did a great job of expressing their the reasons why they're concerned with this measure. And over 100 businesses submitted testimony to the committee saying, bad bill. In response, the people in the Labor Committee, more of the members of the Labor Committee, actually listened this time than they have in the past. And the vote was actually, the bill came out of the committee on a very narrow vote, and that's just, it passed by one. That's unprecedented, and that in and of itself tells you just what a bad measure this bill is. It will move on, and it's expected to go before the Appropriations Committee and the Judiciary Committee at least. So there's additional opportunities to have your voice heard, reach out to your legislator, and try to stop this very problematic measure.
Okay, and on top of paid sick leave, if that does end up passing, it would cost businesses more money. Businesses are already looking at possibly $70 million in new taxes with the Unemployment Compensation Fund.
Unfortunately true. We are expecting at least $70 million increase in federal taxes this year, this calendar year, for the unemployment fund. So that was another issue that was discussed at the Capitol this week. There was a public hearing held on this past Thursday to talk about the financial problems and what should be done. There's unfortunately a bad measure out there, we think, because it would require employers to contribute additional monies to a fund. It would require a higher level of reserves to be set. We don't want to pull any additional monies that may exist in an employer's pocket right now out and put it in a reserve fund, because that means that what little money they may have to invest in capital or their workforce would be taken away. So this is not the time for this measure, wrong measure at this time.
Okay, and lastly, there was some movement on health care.
Yes, the Insurance Committee, again by one vote margin, passed a pooling bill. This measure has always been a great concern to us because the state's always talking about taking this pool and going unfunded. Going uninsured. Our big concern is that it would also be unfunded, and that means that is a real increase in taxpayer liability. And so we want to make sure that that measure does not move forward because, again, it's problematic where taxpayers are concerned, because it is more likely than not will increase our unfunded liability significantly.
Okay, and then moving ahead next week, of course, the governor's budget is still going to be discussed?
Yes, on Monday, before the Finance Committee, those committee members will actually hear all of the governor's revenue recommendations, so all the tax bills, bonding bills, etc. We'll be speaking on that and follow up with everyone next week, because again, we'd like to see more done in terms of reducing the size of state government so we don't have to bear a huge tax burden, increased tax burden. In addition to that, the Commerce Committee is meeting this week too, and they're going to take up Brownfields, and that's a real important measure for us. They've got some real positive stuff out there. We need some fixes so that they don't limit those opportunities. Right now they've been talking about adopting a new program, but limiting how many people can access it, etc. So we're going to be requesting some changes there, but we appreciate the efforts by all of the legislators and the administration that's been involved in this Brownfield effort, and we believe some positive things can result from that bill.
Okay, very busy time of year.
Yes, it is.
Thanks. For more information, visit us online at CBIA.com and look for our Government Affairs Report.